Hey everybody, Roland here with Galina.
It's so nice to be able to talk to you directly. We usually send our newsletter on Thursday, but we thought, why don't we just take some time and just talk to you about what's been going on in our lives, what's been going on in the lives of those people that we help, readers and students, and just to give you a little bit of what we've learned in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been as crazy for you as it has been for us, I'm sure, right? For some more, for some less, but things are so different, and none of us really knows how things are going to be going, right? So I don't know, we were talking about it earlier about how things are and how to describe it. And for me, it's almost like you're grieving, right? It's like you've had a big loss. It's not like you've lost someone specific, but you've lost part of your life. You don't know, you can't go outside like you once were. You couldn't go to places that you love. You can't go visit your friends. You can't go visit your family, and that you're grieving that. But I don't think that we tend to see it that way. So for many of us, we haven't allowed ourselves to grieve.
And in order to be able to feel a loss or to feel that something is really hard, you need space. You need space, you need presence, you need support, you need a warm body next to you. And right now we have many students who are single, who have been on their own a long time, and they don't have a warm body next to them. So it makes it even harder to feel a loss without support. And that's why we're here. We're one email away. You can always write us. We'd love to hear from you and discuss anything that's on your mind with you. But something that's been really, really interesting in recent weeks is how fast we're asking to adapt to many things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So some people are having to homeschool and be a full-time parent and maid, and people have lost all of the help that was coming to their house, even if they had help. And now they're having to do everything on their own. And maybe you're somebody who had a lot of healthcare practitioners taking of you. I work with a lot of people with chronic pain who had 4, 5, 6 practitioners working on them regularly just to maintain a quality of life, and now they can't see those practitioners. And that's really, really hard.
Yes, we have clients and friends who went to see a personal trainer several times a week, and now they relied on that person, right? And they can't, and it's not that person's fault, but they can't rely on them the same way. And they're trying to reach out over Zoom and do home workouts, but it's not the same. But they're trying really hard to keep up the same lifestyle, the same routines as they did before. And worse, they're feeling guilty and ashamed when they're not able to do that.
It's very interesting because our culture is so addicted to doing that here's another big event, big worldwide crisis. And whether you agree that the crisis is real or not, it doesn't matter because you're sitting at home. So
Yeah.
Your opinion doesn't matter much when the government has asked us all to do something. So whether you agree or you don't agree, we're all doing it. And our culture that's so addicted to solutions and hacks and just do this, just do that, very quickly jumped on, well, you need a routine, you need structure, you need to, have more to-do lists and more at-home workouts and just post them. And suddenly in the health and fitness world, it's like you open any sort of social media and it's like
72 free workouts.
It's an explosion. It's an explosion of free workouts. And I'm not saying the information isn't good, but it creates a pressure.
Yeah, the information's good. These are great workouts. And if you want to work out at home, feel free and do them, right?
Yeah, but there shouldn't be a pressure in a moment that you're adapting. Adapting itself takes a ton of energy. You're going to need to sleep more. You might need naps. You might need an extra meal, like maybe you used to eat 3 meals a day and now you're eating 4, because adapting takes energy. And we're adapting emotionally, we're adapting psychologically, we're adapting physiologically, because you can't physically do the same life that you were doing before. Everybody's life has been impacted, and that adaptation takes energy. And when on top of that, you pile up more, I have to do more, the stress is tremendous. So I really hope that you give yourself permission not to have to do it all, and give yourself permission to just be, and be gentle with you, and just do the best you can. You're going to have great days that are structured and productive, and you're going to have days that are just complete, feel like you didn't do anything today. You're going to have days when you're focused, and days when you're really weepy and you're grieving, and days that you're afraid. You're afraid for your children or afraid for your parents. You're going to feel very emotional, and we need to allow all of these days for a while to be our new normal. So our new normal is going to look more like this than like this. And honestly, I feel like our normal oftentimes just covers over what's not normal.
True. Yeah. And, when this started, wherever you are, right, that would have been a good time to say, oh my gosh, my life has changed. I don't know where it's going to be. I need to cover up with a blanket and spend some time with myself and read a book, or hug my wife, or hug my husband, or hug my kids, or my dog, or whatever, right? And instead, many of us said, I'm just going to keep going. You know what? Yeah, it's bad, but I can do this. I'm going to rock this pandemic, right? And so, I'm a writer, and I'm in a lot of writers' communities, and, people were sharing. I shared it too. Shakespeare wrote all his best works during a quarantine, and Isaac Newton invented gravity during the quarantine, right? So that's great, but he didn't have kids, and that was probably their fifth pandemic, right? They were their first one, they were like, ugh, right? So this is a big change. Give yourself permission to grieve, because you have lost something. You have lost something, and you don't know when you're going to get it back. Give yourself permission to grieve. You should have grieved, like we should have grieved 2 weeks ago when this started, but we didn't. So take the time, if you need, to grieve, and spend time with yourself and your loved ones, and do what you need to do, and move along.
We're having dinner with my stepkids, with Roland's kids tonight. And it's the first time in 2 weeks that we were all kind of organized enough to get ourselves all in one place. It's been emotional, it's been scary. I've been in a position, because of what I do, that I have felt really stretched thin. Giving support to the people I work with who are in compromised positions, whether with chronic pain or with stress, anxiety, and other issues. And my heart just goes out to anyone who was already struggling when this started. And I know that what's happening now in the world isn't helping much. And at the same time, I also want to assure you that we can get through difficult things. There's incredible resilience in yourselves. If you look 1 generation back, 2 generations back, you're going to see people who were in wars, and who went through famine and went through very difficult things. Some of them went through them so you could be where you are. If your ancestors, like mine, are refugees, they had to do very difficult things so that you could have a life. And so just know that, that resilience that's carried by our ancestors, it's in there. And you have it too. We all go back so far. So know that we can get through hard things. I was telling Roland, what if our jobs disappear? What if people don't need somebody to help them with their pain, or help them write their books faster, or publish them? Or what if people decide that they don't need the Eat, Move, Live 52 membership or online classes? And then I said, you know what? Life is just going to be different. And we're just going to have to open up to doing our best and taking our place, finding out who we are going to be in this new life, because this is who we still are in this transitional life right now, where normal has paused and there's this new situation that we're all facing, but we don't know what is coming next. All we know is that we have it in us to adapt, and that love isn't going anywhere, connection isn't going anywhere, dreams aren't going anywhere. And our aspirations, our goodness, our common humanity, our compassion, our kindness, our willingness to do things for others, these are not going anywhere, and we can use them as a bridge to move forward into whatever's coming next.
Absolutely. We are here for you. We are, as Galina said, one email away, and I would love to hear from you.
Yeah, and I would love to hear from you too. You know, it's been really moving to reach out to people in our community, especially in our membership where we know people closer, and to just check on them and see how they are and hear how everyone's handling it.
Yeah, in my my group coaching, both for my weight loss groups and my business groups and my writers groups, I threw it out there. I sent them an email. If anyone needs to talk, if you've got something going on and you just need to talk about this stuff, just let's just set up a call and we'll just talk extra. I got off the phone just a few minutes ago. One of my weight loss clients, and all we talked about was how she was down last night, and she reached out to a friend, and they got hooked up with a little writing group. So then they joined a little writing group this morning. They decided to write, and suddenly she's like super excited. She's like, wow, it's like it was just connecting with people, finding a new way. She said she's connected with old friends she hasn't talked to in a long time. And we spent about an hour talking not about weight loss at all, and just like laughing and hanging out together. And it was great. So times are changing. There's new rules. And, maybe those rules shouldn't have been there to begin with, because, it's all about these relationships. Us to you, me to you. We're here for you.
We're here for you. We love you. Stay safe. Keep washing your hands compulsively, and reach out with anything you need.
Bye, everybody.